Mr. Angel, we had a question in the comments.
Mm-hmm.
So what is it when it's a dual sire breeding? What does that mean?
So a dual sire breeding is two baby daddies. But it's true.
I got you right now. What's going on, bully fam?
We're on the couch just answering questions from the comments. So a dual sire breeding is, like I said, is two baby daddies. So I'll share the information though that a lot of people don't know about when you're doing stuff like this, right? So as a dog breeder, there's a few reasons why you may do this. Like say you got an older female, right? And it's her last breeding that you could do. And there's two studs you want to breed to. You're narrowed it down to these two males. Breed both of them. You know what I'm saying? You can breed to both of them. And when you breed to both of them, all you do is when the puppies are here, you go on Maury and do a DNA test. No, you don't got to go on Maury, but you do a DNA test. You know what I'm saying? So you find out if you are the father, if they are the father. You know what I'm saying?
You are not.
So that's typically what you would do is you get a DNA test and you'll see which puppies are of which father. It's really not that expensive. I think it's like 20 to 40 bucks. So the thing is though, is that's like one scenario. If you want to ensure that female, like you want to breed her to both studs, you won't be able to do two breedings out of her. So you need to just breed to two studs, and then hopefully you're hoping that half the litter is one stud, half the litter comes from the other stud. Another scenario is, and I've seen this more often, is like the stud that the female bred to, you do a breeding, and let's just say the guy, like say someone shipped you semen, and maybe you weren't happy with the quality of the semen, or you're worried that the breeding won't take, then maybe you have a local stud. Like so you did one breeding with a stud from another state or whatever, they shipped the semen, but then now you use maybe a local stud or maybe your own stud and do a couple breedings as well, because you can't afford, you're worried that maybe she won't get pregnant or whatever. So you're breeding to two males, you know, and there's usually, like I said, an underlying reason. It's not super common. But it does happen. So that's another, like I said, that's another scenario where, you breed it to two different males. One may be far away, one might be local. I've also seen scenarios where they did frozen semen, right? So the semen was frozen and they had it in a liquid nitrogen tank because the dog had been dead for like 10 years. So they did that breeding, but they were still worried that the female might not get pregnant and they didn't want to miss this breeding. So then they also used a local dog and they bred both dogs, and then they did the DNA test to find out which was the dad. There's a few reasons why you may want to breed to two males at the same time. The other piece of advice that a lot of people don't know is when you're breeding two males at the same time, you usually want to breed the older dog first, right? Because the older dog, his semen isn't going to be as fast, as energetic, and as lively as the younger dog. So usually if you breed both dogs at the same time, usually the litter will just all be the younger stud and you won't see any puppies that come from the older stud. And it's because the sperm isn't as lively. So that's why you got to give the older dog a head start. So you breed him first, and then a day or two later, then you breed the younger stud. So that's typically the right way to do it, And then, like I said, then you just do your DNA test. So that's a dual sire breeding. The age difference between the younger dog and the older dog can play a big part. It just depends on the age difference. Like say if one dog's 5 and the other one is 6, there may not be as big of a difference. But if the dog is like, say one is 1 year old and the other one is maybe like 4 or 5 years old, for the sperm, that could be a huge difference. And then you gotta be careful because like certain registries, they have certain restrictions and rules, and I don't know. You just got to look at what registry you're with, whether it's AKC, UKC, ABR, whatever registry. Just see what their rules are on dual sire breedings. But for the most part, most of them are pretty accepting. And if you do that breeding, you could end up with puppies from two different baby daddies. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I don't know a lot of people who like it's not a super common thing. But I've seen it. It's just another tool in a breeder's arsenal when they're in a certain situation and they may need to do it. So, I mean, hey, maybe this will help. Maybe this will help the person to ask the question. I don't know. So anyway, guys, yeah, I hope this information, I hope it's helpful. I hope it's useful. And drop a comment if you guys want us to answer more questions like this. All right, guys.